Do you believe there's a purpose for you on this planet? Lots of us talk about going toward our passions, finding something we're passionate about, even finding a purpose. But on a deeper level of conviction, if you check in with yourself, do you actually believe there is something meant for you to do? A way you are meant to live that is in the highest service of yourself and others. Now, I speak often about the idea that we don't come into this world as blank slates. We come into these bodies with layers of what we call trauma, of belief systems that aren't necessarily ours. And then we're raised in an environment that comes with its own conditioning, with parents and teachers and other figures that just couldn't possibly know our truth or what was truly meant for us, if you believe that exists. With the best of intentions, they just raise us in the way they know how. They guide us in the way they know how. They teach us in the way they feel we're supposed to be taught. And yet, to really honor the human spirit of an individual, often listening is required more, within reason, of course. So if we take that idea of not coming in as a blank slate, but carrying a lot of things that weren't necessarily meant for us or belong to others and were meant to be worked through or released, then is it possible that there's something underneath that, a truth underneath that? And whether you believe in a soul or a connection to all things or the spiritual world, I invite you to consider that you do come here for a reason. You do come here with something to give, a truth to be discovered. And that really, at the end of the day, only you can discover it. It is your right, your gift, and your responsibility to go toward that. Because that's what the world needs. The world needs your light. As the cliche goes, if you reflect on some of the most important figures in history, they didn't exactly stay safe. They didn't exactly play it safe, which it can be easy to do, to just take the job within the system that's structured and laid out for you, or the relationship that has very clear dynamics and is approved by your family and all your friends. It's nice to feel validated by those around us. But what inevitably happens is there's a part of us that feels misunderstood, naturally, because others could not possibly understand us unless we start saying yes to us, to a deeper voice that maybe's always been there, maybe it's been staring you in the face, but is layered with fear and doubt and shame. Inevitably, because with all the conditioning we come into the world with, the things that get us validated by others are not necessarily the things that are meant for us. And that was quite a painful experience for me, until I was able to start saying yes to myself. And that comes, it comes with the fears and doubts. It's not in spite of it, it's alongside it. But I believe it's worth it. I believe it's worth it. Even if it creates some tensions in the ways that others have been seeing you and benefiting from you, not necessarily in a taking advantage of way, though that can happen too, but just in the way they've come to love you. It can disrupt others' perception of you, of who you are. I invite you to consider that that's okay. And in fact, sometimes it's needed. I certainly didn't know that for a long time, didn't believe it for a long time, but I suffered as a result. And whether you're in your teens or 20s or 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever, it's not easy. There's inevitably going to be ways you're not honoring yourself, feelings of lack, loneliness, distance from something maybe you can't put your finger on, maybe you don't know. That's okay. It's okay not to know. It's more important just to be open to the idea that it exists, that there is a truth within you that exists. Because if you're open to it existing, you're open to start moving toward it, even if you don't know what it is. And a lot of times, in order to move closer to something that we want, first we have to be with and remove the things we acknowledge we don't really want, that aren't serving us, that maybe serve others more than us. And so wherever you are, this isn't meant to be shaming or judgmental. It's okay. It's okay if you're not there, because it's hard unless you're one of the special few who just come into this world and are so authentically themselves. They just know, and they have so much power emanating from their being. Like Greta Thunberg, like no one's energy can stop you because it's just so powerful. Your purpose is just so clear. And I think there are special ones who come into this world knowing that. But for most of us, we got to work through some stuff. And that's okay. But I invite you to consider that if you're suffering, if there's depression, anxiety, panic, chronic pains, however suffering is manifesting for you, I invite you to consider it's not just chemical deficiencies. It's not just that bike accident. It's not just the stories that seemingly make sense for your pain. There may be something deeper that is not being acknowledged, that you're not yet saying yes to yourself, to what's most aligned for you. Even if it comes with challenges, I invite you to consider that there is a yes. There is a yes to the question that's being continuously asked. Maybe the voice is quiet, but if we step back and we sit, maybe in meditation or visualization, or just ask something beyond yourself, something within yourself. Ask to be guided. Ask for an answer. It's hard not to know. It's hard to sit with not knowing, but you may start to get some answers. And it may be scary because failing at it or succeeding at it, both, may seem scary, but maybe you're not meant to play it safe. Maybe you're not meant to live in pain. Maybe you're not meant to live feeling alienated from yourself or misunderstood. Maybe you're meant to start speaking a little more powerfully and truthfully to what lives within you. I invite you to consider.